The skills that we are going to discuss in this video, when you learn them, is going to help you stay relevant in this entire AI revolution that we are going through. Why? People that are not learning AI are going to be replaced very, very soon. And you do not want that to be you. So pay attention to this video to make sure that, number one, you understand the skills, you understand the clear path that I'm going to give you on how you can learn these skills and where you can start right now. So let us get right into it. The single most important career move you can make right now. Yes, that is because AI is here to stay. And in order for you to get comfortable with this new world order that we are living in, there are certain skills that you need to learn. And if you want to know how dire this situation is, let us look at this two graphs here. The demand for AI talent is outpacing the broader tech market. Look at these two graphs that we have here. AI skills in demand. As you can see here, this is actually an example that is taken from the US, but this is going to be relevant throughout the world. You can see how this is going up. It says that job listings that require AI skill have increased by more than 107%. You see how the curve goes right up, and it's going to keep going up. And then tech hiring, what is going on? You see how flat it is? What that tells you is that the demand for these AI skills is so high that if you're not upskilling yourself, learning these skills, getting better, you are not going to have a job, because see how much the need is increasing as fast as possible. When you look through the next graph, it actually tells you a very, very important thing, that anyone that is a young person in the workforce, trying to get into the workforce, or even just trying to choose a major to go to school, you should pay attention to this particular statistic. It says here the AI transformation is reshaping the global workforce. But what I really want you all to look at is how much was put into AI development by companies in 2024. 252 billion. That is how much has been put into gaining AI skills, hiring AI people. Anyone that has any skills related to AI, companies are putting a ton of money in order to hire these people. So if you think that this is something that is they're going to have a bust, I've heard people say that, oh, there's going to be an AI bust, and all of this rushing that people are rushing is not going to be for anything. And I'm like, if you're thinking that way, you are definitely not paying attention, because this is 2024 data. By the end of this year, we are going to find out what is the 2025 data. Then you are going to see how much companies are spending into AI to make sure that we have this talent and the skills that are extremely important. And this is not just the sense of, oh, if you learn AI, you are going to have a job. No, there is a huge wage premium, like how much you can make in terms of a monthly income and annual income because you have AI skills, is like night and day. When you look at it here, you see that in the US there is actually a 25% increase in wage premiums for people who have AI skills. But this is not the case all over the world, because as you can see, this is like a comparison between South Korea and US, and you can see someone who has AI skills in the US is going to be making like 25% higher. Someone who has AI skills in South Korea is going to make, I think this is like 6% higher. So what that is telling us is that, yes, you may have AI skills, but where you are located is really, really important for how much you can make in terms of these AI skills that you gain. And the general way of looking at this is, let's just say you are a young person in Bangladesh or in India or in Cameroon or in Togo, and you're gaining AI skills. Pay attention to things like this, because you want to figure out where can you get a salary that is good enough based off of your skills. So everyone should be learning these AI skills, but at the same time be looking around for where should I go that will really value these skills that I am learning? And if it means that you have to apply for a job in another country where you're going to be paid better, sure, do that, learn the skills, and then you can move to those countries, because trust me, you are going to be paid for it. As you can see here, okay, these are the details that are on this slide here. You have in the US, if you have this AI skills, you are going to have 25% wage premium. In Canada, 18%. In the UK and in Australia, 15%. And in South Korea, 6%. So what that is telling you is, when you get these skills, you can just look through this data and be like, because of this, because of that, I will prefer to move to this country, or I can apply for jobs in this particular country. And remember, there is the need for people to work in person, but you can also work remote. So it doesn't even matter how much, where you are located, you can get jobs in all of these places, because you have learned the AI skills that we are going to be discussing in this video. So let us talk now about, we're going to stay a little bit on this slide so I can explain to you all what each of this is and how different it is, and after that we are going to discuss the pathway on how you should be learning these skills. Number one, the new in-demand skills. You have foundational AI literacy, LLM security, foundational model adaptation, multi-agent systems, responsible AI governance. So these are the areas that people are looking for talent for, and the skills that people have. Foundational AI literacy, this is practically you just knowing exactly how to communicate with AI. How does AI think? What is the AI logic? How does it work? Is AI hallucinating? Is it giving me the correct answers? How am I able to determine that? That is actually having AI literacy, knowing when AI is just hallucinating and giving you wrong information, and understanding its thought process, the sources where it's getting its information from, and also the prompts that you should give it in order for it to come back with results that are not hallucinations. LLM security, this is extremely important, because in this large language models that we are all becoming a part of, what are the security guardrails that have to be put in place? Those are skills that you should learn. Foundational model adaptation. One of the things that is going on in the AI world is that there are companies that are just, they have their things working around and they are not taking AI and are pasting on it. But there are companies that are changing completely how we think about AI. For example, okay, this is the AI model. How can I take this model and adapt it to our company's way of doing things? What are the things that we have to change? That is that foundational model adaptation, where you take what a company needs, you take the model, the AI model, and then you see how you can blend those things together. That is what they are looking for. What skills does this person have? Can this person come in and tell us how we can fundamentally change how our business is done? Like, okay, this is the model. We can now put our business on top of it, and then we can build from there. Multi-agent systems, this is such an important job, that is like an important skill that people need to know, because right now so many companies are building agents. Number one, there's a skill set that is needed to build the agents, right? And then these agents have to communicate to each other. So they need skills for people who can sort of let these agents communicate together and have better outcomes, better output for whatever thing that the goal of the business is, or the goal of the companies, or the goal of the organization is. How can these agents practically talk to each other and have better outcomes for the company? And then responsible AI governance. This is extremely important, because what is AI? Data. We are feeding this data into these machines and then having it predict outcomes based off of how we have trained it, the data we have put in. So, but the question is, what kind of data are we putting inside? How responsible are we? And how representative is this data? For example, if they train this data on, let's say, 20 to 50-year-old white Caucasian males living in Australia, that is not that data that has trained that model. If you take that and put it in any other country, it is not going to be relevant, right? So it is very important that there is responsible AI governance of the people, that like that skill set of how should we think about, how should we source the data, how representative should it be, how should we do this, like making sure that we do not help to increase the inequalities in society. Those are skill sets that are going to be extremely needed. So those are the new in-demand skills. And now let us talk about how you are going to get there. And the goal of this is, how are you going to become a power user? Because it is in becoming a power user, an AI power user, that you are going to develop these skills. You don't have to be proficient at all of them, but the better you know, the better for you. Or the more you know, the better for you. So let us talk about the 5 strategies to become an AI power user. Number 1, you have to demonstrate your humanity. Something that you have to think about is, just as I was saying earlier, it is data, it is machines, we are feeding it everything. And it is thinking about predictions based off of numbers. There is no morality to it, there is no ethics to it, there is nothing that is happening that is sort of human thinking to it. Now you as a human, you now have to bring in that human element of, all right, the AI is doing this predictive things based off of the numbers, but I'm coming in with the morality of it. How is it doing it? How is it thinking? Like what is a human element that you can bring to it, right? So as it says here, focus on skills. AI cannot replicate judgment, empathy, ethical decision making, relationship building, nuanced communication. AI cannot do that, right? So let's go to the second skill that you have to learn. Learn by doing. I have a Substack newsletter, and what I am doing in my Substack newsletter is having us do things. Like, okay, we are learning the theory, we are going through all of the courses, but how do we put that into practice? How do we build our AI portfolios? What are the things we have been doing? It is showing your work, showing the things that you have been doing, where someone can look at it and be like, oh, okay, she knows how to do this, he knows how to do this. Because trust me, you guys, so many people are lying on their CVs and their resumes that they are this AI fluent in this, but when it now comes to them doing it, or for even those that are hiring to verify how you can do it, they cannot see anything to verify that you can do all of those things. That is why you all go ahead, sign up for my newsletter, because what we are, the goal of that newsletter is to have us doing AI projects, building AI portfolios, such that we can be like, oh, see, this is what I'm doing. So it goes back to number 2, learning by doing. The third thing, integrate AI into your daily workflows. Use tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini as your assistant, Tutor, Creative Partner. Use them to summarize articles, draft emails, and increase your output. Extremely important. Like, just test it out, let it write an email for you, then you can assess it. Same thing if you're going to reach out to some, like, let it write those short things that you can check and be like, oh wow. So those very remote tasks, try to delegate it to AI and have it do it. Then you can now read through it and see if you like it or not. So use it as much as possible. Then the next one, number 4, embrace micro learning. You guys, break down learning into quick targeted sessions. Block 10 or 15 minutes in your schedule for AI sprints to experiment and stay curious without getting overwhelmed. So yes, listen, having time to study this AI is like, everybody's so busy. Like, we all have jobs, we all have kids, we all have family, we have things to take care of. But now it's like, how do you find a way to get AI proficient despite all of this? 10 to 15 minutes every time that you can, on the train while you're going somewhere, or when you're coming back 15 minutes before you sleep. Just putting in some time in here and there, breaking it down into this micro learning, because if you do not break it down, you're not going to find time to learn. And as usual, the 5th thing, upskill continuously. I think we are really going through a massive shift in the way we learn, in the way we work, because upskilling or continuous learning, lifelong learning, is a skill that we all need to master. We all need to learn how to learn, and learning fast and learning constantly. That concept of I go through school, I graduate, and then that is it, is gone. Like, that is not even within the purview of what is happening in this day and age. In this day and age, you have to keep learning every day. You go to work, you come back, you learn something new, you get better, you get certificates. So Stay ahead by regularly updating your technical and soft skills. Follow industry leaders, explore platforms like product hunts, and pair AI literacy with human-centric strengths like storytelling and leadership, and show your work. That is why I want you to subscribe to the newsletter, because when you subscribe to the newsletter, you'll be getting little tasks. We all are going to be getting little tasks. We'll be building this community so that we can show our work, and even no matter how small it is, we can show how proficient we are learning. And why is that important? Just as this quote really stood out to me, because it says students often graduate knowing what AI is, but not how it works in practice. And that is really the goal. How do we get to move from knowing it, let's say intellectually in the brains, to showing how much we can do it? And I think that those that are coming from the social sciences field, this is going to be a new part of our brain that we have to start thinking with, because those that are coming from a technical background, they are used to building portfolios, showing what they can do, showing their work. And even those that are like graphic designers, UX UI engineers, they are able to show their work. But those of us coming from social sciences background, we do not have this idea of how do you show your work, how do you build a portfolio, and that is what is going to be required of us. So we really need to unlock that part of our brain that we had not unlocked before in order to stay relevant in this AI era. So let us go to where we are going to start. The first thing that we are going to start by doing is we're going to be learning prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is you telling the AI what you want it to give it, but being extremely specific in how we do it. We are going to be using AI assisted content creation. Whatever thing that we have to do, we are going to be using AI throughout that process. And then being responsible AI fundamentals, mostly just understanding what exactly it is. I posted a video about courses, free courses that you can take in order to learn AI. I think that everyone should watch that video. Y'all go ahead, take those courses, because as I said in the video, right now those courses are free. You can take, you can learn all of these fundamentals, but I don't know for how long these courses are going to be free. So take them, learn, and get better as much as possible. So your next move, what we all have to do, both you and I, our smartest move that we can do now is train for the job that hasn't been invented yet. And trust me, you guys, you are going to think, when you think about this, you may think that also many people are so way ahead of you. You're just starting out. No, that is not the case. Everyone that you see sort of creating content about AI, speaking on stages about AI, they are learning in real time. They are practicing, they are learning, and they are making mistakes and falling and going ahead and learning and picking themselves up. So even if you are like a beginner, you haven't done anything before, trust me, you are not alone. There are so many of us that are going through this process, through this change right now. Subscribe to the newsletter. Let us all grow together. I am going to see you all in the next one. Peace.